Welcome back to On Deck Circle Podcast, brought to you by the Fantasy Six Pack. I am your messy-haired host, Nick Z, over here with my very good friend, Mr. Jason Beckner. Jason, how are you on this fine evening?
Doing good, Dick. We're very, very close to regular season here, and I can smell it. I can taste it. I'm ready for meaningful baseball.
And if I'm being completely honest, this might be one of my favorite shows that we do, where we just kind of go over our predictions, our prospect risers, our award predictions, and all things of that nature. So let's jump right into it. But first, there's also something else that I know you and I both enjoy, and that's MLB The Show.
Yep.
We're close to MLB The Show coming out. I just want to know, are you excited for it? All right, 3, 2, 1, go. I put on a hat.
That's right. And I am excited for the show. It's probably my favorite video game, even though I stink at it online.
I'm so bad, and I get so mad.
Yeah.
I've broken many controller. Maybe not for the last few years, but of just the first 3 weeks of MLB The Show are the most frustrating because I haven't played probably since September, maybe August.
Oh.
And it's so hard. But that's why I like it too.
Yes.
I like being challenged. I'm mostly an online guy, so I do get mad when probably a 12-year-old is just destroying me and making me quit. But that's fine.
Yeah. Like I said, I think it's very rewarding though. It makes the home runs feel all that more rewarding when you do finally.
Yes.
Yeah, there's nothing more makes you so angry that when it looks like the pitch is coming right down the middle and then breaks 3 feet and almost hits you and you still swing at it.
I swing at everything, Jason.
I'm pretty much right there too, man.
I'm not taking a pitch. It's a video game. I'm trying to get stuff done. I'm an adult.
Exactly. Yeah. I have those same sentiments, but I love it. I will be playing it a bunch. I do online Diamond Dynasty.
Oh yeah.
I love it. Until even when I lose, nothing worse. I don't mind losing 2-1 or 3-2 or something like that. But when it's 5-0 in the second inning, I'm almost pretty much just rage quit.
Yep. If any developers for MLB The Show are listening, I want a skins game where I can put a card up and you put a card up and whoever wins the game keeps the card. That's all I want.
I like that.
But no more video game talk, even though it's baseball. We're going right into the awards and all of things like that. So what do we got first?
Well, should we throw the graphic up right away so everyone can see what we got, or should we do the graphic?
Yes, throw that graphic up. I did not go to graphic school. No, I'm just kidding. I actually did not go to graphic school. But here we are. I think next year we should do shirts and ties or something. Or maybe
we have done that. We have done that in the past.
We did that with Dave.
Yeah, well, we did the I think it was the end of the year show when we gave out our awards. It was we did an award show where we all wore suits and we gave out who our fantasy MVP was. And
I think we should bring that back.
Yeah, coming September, we'll bring it back where we revisit this graphic for one.
Yep.
And two, we'll give out superlatives or something like that. Most I don't know what superlative could be at this moment, but there will be superlatives that we can give out. Most enraging pitcher
performance.
Yeah. Cherry bomb pitcher of the year, things like that. So I'm definitely down for. Bust out the black ties.
Yeah.
All right. Well, first let's start off with our prospect riser this offseason, or whoever you think that maybe the in season. I see here you got your guy, Sebastian Dos Santos.
Sebastian Dos Santos. I think I've spoken about this before where if you asked me 3 weeks ago who Sebastian Dos Santos was, I would be like, I don't fucking know. But then we're in the point in the baseball season, by that being spring training, that a lot of articles are coming out from a lot of great people, some from the Fan Six Pack, some from other publications. And this is one that really sticks out. And again, I'm not going to pretend that I know that this 17-year-old is going to be a smash hit for the Cardinals, but he's someone that I'm going to be monitoring very closely. So last year in the DSL, he DSL. Wait, it's DSL, right? I was thinking about something else with DSL.
No, it's DSL, Dominican Summer League.
Yes. Slashed a mean 313, 452 with an OPS well over 1,000. The power, I don't know. Like, it's so hard to really say anything because he is 17, but he had 21 extra base hits, 4 of those being home runs in 38 games. He'll be 18 for the full season. 10% swinging strike rate, which is great for a young hitter. Has a great approach. He's only 6 foot, 140 pounds because he is a child, but definitely someone I think we should be paying attention to. I want to say Jesus Mate, light, if that. You know what? I'm not even gonna say light because like we don't know until this guy comes over stateside. We will not know. If I'm being completely honest, I don't know if he is coming over this season, but he is someone that I think I picked him up the first waiver run of my 2024 team league. He was my first waiver priority. And I did get him, so that was great. So just someone I think everyone should be kind of just the DSL is such an interesting place to find prospects because they do work. There's going to be 5 people from this class that are going to be great players. It's just a matter of hitting on the right ones. So for these types of players, it's more like a spray and pray, like add 3 of them. And then if one of them's a superstar, you're making it like a band.
Yeah. This actually brings up a really good topic I want to talk about real quick. When it comes to first-year player drafts and these like international signees, what is your thinking and thought process on when you're taking guys like this? And just any, not just Sebastian Dos Santos, but any of these like Renteria was another one this year, and the other guy I can't think of, but there's always those like 17-year-olds that are included in the J15 now guys. But I'm interested to see what your thoughts are on those because those guys, a lot of times, they become some of the best players in the league, aka Ronald Acuña Jr. and Jackson Chourio and things like that. So, what's your take on it?
I'm out on it, honestly. I've been burnt once. I think his name was Eric Pena for the Royals. I don't know what he's up to now, but I would say, depending on how many rounds, so like mine are mostly 4 or 5 rounds. I'm going fifth round. I'd do it, but even like the high end guys, like Luis Hernandez was like the big guy this year. I just don't know enough about the players, and I feel like it's so hard to really judge. But the risk and the reward is so great. But I'm saying I'd rather pick 3 of these guys in the 5th than 1 in the 1st.
Yeah. No, I have the same kind of sentiment. I can't get myself to commit to like a 1st or 2nd round pick to these 17-year-olds. For one, the volatility is just insane with them. I've been burnt too. Christian Hernandez is one of those guys that I think I have on a lot of my teams. A Cubs guy that was supposedly the next A-Rod when he was, the 17-year-old is the next A-Rod. And then you get all this helium into him for first-year player drafts. And then here we are. And I'm like, I don't even know if this guy's rosterable anymore. But it's curious because I was curious because like both of our guys of our prospect risers. And a lot of prospect risers are these foreign signees, these J15 signees that come, get signed at 17, 18, even 15, 16-year-olds. There's one guy that know that was signed as a 15-year-old. I really don't want to say his name. Was with the Rays.
Yeah.
He was signed at 15, right? And I know that he was a very, very well-renowned player, even at major league level. So these guys do eventually pan out. But not only do you not have to, I don't want to waste a top round pick on them. You then have to wait minimum 4 to 5 years before they even can think about contributing to your fantasy team. So just real quick offset, I wanted to think about we obviously have the same sentiment. I think a lot of people do, where it's like you got to wait a couple years and hope to pick them up off of waivers or however your league does it. But I can't commit. Like you said, I'd rather, even in a fourth round, I don't know if I'm taking a J15 signee just because they're on a 17-year-old. But look at that. We're both talking about our prospect risers as J15 signees.
Oh.
Because I'm going to be talking about Luis De Leon of the Baltimore Orioles, a pitcher. Yeah, he had a really nice year last year. 3.3 ERA, 2.59 FIP, 1.2 WHIP, 29% strikeout rate, a 199 average against. Really nice stretch down the run, which has kind of created this like bump in his outlook and his ranking. In his final 9 starts, he had a 1.8 ERA, 65 strikeouts in 45 innings. He's got really nice electric stuff. The fastball's high-end velocity. Right now, he's ranked outside of the top 100 on MLB Pipeline. So obviously, you can see that he's not quite in that, getting that huge love that most prospect hounds love. Everyone goes MLB Pipeline. However, a pipeline is not the best rankings, especially for fantasy purposes. But he's the Orioles' 4th best prospect according to Pipeline. So he's still got a little bit of some tout there in the Orioles organization, but I would expect, De Leon to probably make a jump up prospect rankings this year, especially as a lot of these guys start to graduate. And I actually wouldn't be shocked if he himself graduated. I could see him making his debut at some point in 2026, probably later in the year, but he kind of proves that he can, belong. A lot of those stats last year were at AA. So, a lot of times you see the pitchers jump from AA to the majors. So, look for Luis De Leon to rise even further up some of these prospect rankings for sure. And Baltimore has always had a really good pitching development as well.
Yeah, he's someone that I've just kind of learned about this past week. I feel like I've seen a few things on him. Definitely, this is the time to get him because you didn't want, I don't know. I don't think this guy was being picked in the first round of first-year player drafts. But right now is a good time to get him once they're, he's not fully developed either. But, as a 22-year-old, I like this player. But as a 17-year-old, I would not have.
Yeah, exactly.
Unlike that player that you were talking about for the Rays.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a good...
All right, well, that's our prospect risers. Let's get into some fun stuff here. Some of our seasonal predictions. It's always fun to look back on these. Come September, we look back and we can be like, "Oh, you had what as your MVP?" And then it's always fun. So let's jump right into our first guys here in our Cy Young predictions. If you want to take the lead, tell us about what you got. I'm sure you don't got to go too in depth with why Garrett Crochet is going to win the Cy Young.
Yeah. We're just going to preface this with a couple things. We're not picking Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani. Any other show can do that. This is just how we feel the season's going to unfold,
right?
Or how we hope the season's going to unfold. We're
right.
not going to be giving you these.
If I'm out here placing
analysis.
Yeah, if I'm out here placing bets, I'm going with Judge and Ohtani's MVP. But we got to make it a little fun and worth our time to put it out there.
So I'll start off here. Let's start with Eury Perez. He's awesome, man, and he's 22, and he's back because last year we saw him come back from his Tommy John, and it was And we saw glimpses of what we once were hoping on. And again, he's 22. Like, this isn't something that's like a crazy take. But
Yeah.
Eury Perez is going to be great. He's already been decent in spring. Has given up some runs. I don't care about runs in spring training. I care about strikeouts. I care about innings and things like that. So his ERA currently is indeed over 11 in spring training, but I do not care. In 5 innings, he has 10 strikeouts. What I really just need for him to do is just get the control under control. But I think everything's there for him to just like put it all together. He's 5th in, I don't even know what this means, Jason. TJ stuff plus? What's that mean?
Well, stuff plus I know is like I don't know what the TJ stuff is, but stuff plus is a metric that I believe like Saris and someone else uses. That it's like kind of like what one of these advanced stats that they kind of created.
Yeah. So the stuff's great. He's just currently, he had one bout outing, but I think, and honestly, I did place a bet on this just because the price is good. But if he puts it all together, we have a top 2 pitcher in the NL.
Yeah.
And the number 1 pitcher is on your side.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My Cy Young, similar to your Garrett Crochet kind of being chalk. I took Skeens. I think if anyone's got the ability to go back to back at Skeens, we just saw Tariq Skubal do it. I think Skeens has those abilities as well. For a little bit of a wrinkle here for AL. It's kind of funny. I put a wrinkle in the AL. You put a wrinkle in the NL. It's kind of awkward kind of weird how that happened. But anyways, my wrinkle is Max Fried. Right now, came off an insane season with first year with the Yankees. 19 wins last year. He was runner 4th in AL Cy Young voting last year. Prototypical workhorse type pitcher. Had 195 innings. Those are the type of things that will win you Cy Young. The only thing that will hinder him from maybe it probably held him back last year too was the strikeouts, right? The strikeouts don't give you the WAR that you need. The wins are going to be there. The ERA is going to be there. He's always induced super weak contact all the time. If you can somehow uptick his strikeout to at least like 1 to 1.5 per inning, I think he has a really. I mean, he already has a legitimate chance. I think he can get there if he can somehow get those strikeout numbers up. That's the one thing that's holding him back, and always kind of has in his career. He's never been that huge power pitcher, strikeout pitcher that's going to get you that Cy Young. But you never know. If he wins like 22 games and has a 2-something ERA again, it's very possible he could.
It's so hard for me to like a pick that's a Yankee.
Yeah.
But I like the pick. However, it's not going to happen. And you want to know why? Because Garrett Crochet is going to win the Cy Young. Not Tariq Skubal.
Yeah.
No. We're not getting a 3-peat. We're getting Garrett Crochet. I think we're going to see that. My main take is Skubal's going to get traded. And I'm assuming they'll trade him to the NL. And that's kind of going to ruin his chances. But Crochet was so good last year. If Skubal was like not otherworldly, Crochet wins the Cy Young. And I think you might get the voting fatigue too if Skubal stays. We got the big market in Boston. Boston's going to have a huge year because they always do. And I'm all in on Crochet.
Yeah, I think Crochet, if Detroit wasn't such a good team last year, Skubal doesn't win that. Crochet does. Detroit going from a non-playoff team to like being like a super good team last year, large part because of Skubal, that gives them the nod over Crochet because Crochet was excellent, led the league, led all of majors in strikeouts. So yeah, I like Crochet for sure. Those are our Cy Youngs. Let's talk about our MVPs here. I'll go this time. A little bit of a wrinkle, not much of a wrinkle in the AL. It's going to be either Judge or Witt. I went with Witt this year, which is insane that, I looked up a lot of Witt stats, and I'm just shocked at, like, I knew he was good, but since his rookie season, he's gone 20 for 20 every season, and he's even had multiple seasons of 30 for 30. He doesn't strike out. He plays insane defense. He was runner-up to Judge in both 24 and 25. I think this year the power numbers kind of get him up over that hump over Judge. It's crazy because, like, the only difference right now between Judge and Witt is, like, Judge doesn't steal bases and hits home runs. Witt kind of hits home runs and steals a bunch of bases. They both hit for really good contact. They both, I mean, obviously Witt probably plays a better defense, but I guess it's a lot of, like, Yankee bias too, probably why Judge gets the nod over Witt. But I think this is the year that Witt gets over Judge and gets that. That's not much of a wrinkle. My biggest wrinkle right now is Kyle Tucker in the NL. Talking about arguably the best hitter of the past several years. Obviously he's coming off of a quote-unquote down year with the Cubs. He missed a bunch of time, and he still hit 22 home runs, 91 runs, and 73 RBIs with 25 stolen bases in only 136 games. And now he joins, not even arguably, hands down the best offense in the league in the Dodgers. And right now, roster resource has him hitting between Ohtani and Betts. So if he can stay healthy, which may be a big if because he's missed time the last 2 seasons, but if he stays healthy, he could easily get a career high in RBIs, which would be over 112. And I could even see him getting over 125 RBIs. I can see him get him to like 135 or more. And then you combine that with 100 runs scored and probably 28 season of home runs and stolen bases. I mean, I don't foresee any reason, if he doesn't stay healthy, why he can't win the MVP.
Do you like my little troll of just putting him in a Cubs hat?
Yeah.
But no, ESPN still has him in a Cubs hat. Brutal.
Yeah.
I love both of those picks. Although it's just gonna be Ohtani and Judge.
Yeah, well, you know what's funny is I was gonna pick Acuna, and then I saw your pick, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna go with Acuna. And then I was like, well, wait, Tucker's a really good chance at it too because he's going out to the Dodgers now.
Yeah, I love Ronald Acuna this season. I think we're in that every other year for Ronald Acuna where he doesn't have a devastating injury. I think people forget just how good Acuna is, and it's crazy. Like, how many? Hold on one second. So he
even had a good year last year.
Homers last year.
Yeah.
Under 400 at bats.
Yeah, he had an awesome year.
Nine bases, which is a little weird, but I'm guessing that was more just let's just stay healthy. So he played 95 games last year and 49 the year before. I'm counting that as one full season. And in that one full season, he hit 25 homers, which is fine. But not too long ago, we saw Ronald Acuna hit 41 home runs and 73 stolen bases.
Yeah, absurd.
That was the last time he played a full season. And I think that's kind of what we're going to see. And I'm really excited for it, if I'm being completely honest.
What do you think is more valuable, Ohtani's 50-50 season last year or Acuna's 40-70 in 2023? I feel like the Acuna 40-70 season is more impressive than 50-50. 40-70 is crazy.
The issue with Ohtani is, and honestly, Ohtani barely pitches now, but the fact that you can be like, well, he pitched is crazy.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why. But yeah, I am totally with you. I think people just really sleep on Ronald Acuna, and it's just kind of weird because he is a top 3 to 4 player in baseball.
Right.
And he just kind of gets these, and none of the injuries are they're always catastrophic. It's not like a Kyle Tucker that fouls a ball off his foot and he's out for 6 months. This is Acuna broke his leg sliding.
Yeah. I mean, both his knees were shot the last 2 years. So it's I can see why stolen bases are down. I don't know if we'll ever get back to 70 stolen bases, but I think you can get to 20 for sure. I think they'll probably be kind of cautious with the stolen bases for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
He's too valuable to be stealing bases
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah, I don't think we see him steal 70 again, but I think we can get like 20.
Yeah.
For sure. And then my next one is Vlad. He's the big man, finally got paid, and it's his first full season under it.
Yep.
The Blue Jays are so good, and they're kind of, I don't want to say they're the Brewers because the Brewers are weird and don't have superstars,
Yep.
but like this Blue Jays team almost beat the Dodgers in the World Series.
I know.
Like, and no one really talks about that, and Vlad was a huge reason. The Acuna and Vlad are kind of like the same. I don't want to say they're brothers because they're not, but like they'll always be paired with each other in fantasy circles just because they were coming up around the same time.
Yeah.
And Vlad's so much fun to root for. Honestly, he could hit 50 homers. And again, we've said in previous episodes that people wake up and hit 50 homers. But yeah, all in on Vlad. Really wish he was on the Red Sox.
Yeah, of course. I was like, he's becoming a free agent this offseason. Like maybe the Cubs will get him, and there was rumors of them trading for him, but it never happened. But yeah. Rookie of the year. Don't want to go into this too much. We have both the same guy in the AL. We talked about all four of these guys in extent of our Dynasty breakouts or whatever episodes those where we talk about all three of these guys. Eldridge I have for the NL. Most likely going to break camp with the Giants. Huge power upside, hits for a high average. Being on the opening day roster, he stays up there for the whole year, gives him a huge leg up for Rookie of the Year. I think Carter Jensen right now is the favorite, the betting on favorite for AL Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
Dude's a stud. Looking to get full-time at bats this year for the Royals. We all know by now the fences have been moved in at was it Kauffman Stadium still. So yeah, Carter Jensen, I'm all in on that for sure for Rookie of the Year. Anything to add for those three guys? Oh, you have you McLean.
Oh yeah, I love Nolan McLean. He's just such a fun player to root for, and we saw him pitch in the World Baseball Classic. Didn't do an awful job, but yeah, I think I'm big into markets when it comes to these awards, and like it doesn't always work that way. But pitching in New York, and he's gonna get the opportunity, and he's nasty. So I kind of just think that's really gonna happen for him. And Carter Jensen, same. I really like the Royals this year. I love just like we have Bobby Witt here. I love Vinny P, Mr. Italian Breakfast. It's just a very easy team to root for, and I think Carter Jensen's kind of going to be that like dirt dog catcher that's just going to be there for the next like 10 years.
Yeah, love it. Well, those are our individual predictions. This one's always fun. World Series predictions in March, and no surprise, we both have the Dodgers three-peating. They'd not only be the first, they just became the first team to repeat since the 90s Yankees, and they'll probably be the first team to three-peat since the 90s Yankees. The 90s Yankees did that too, right? It was like 96, 97, 98?
Yeah, I think so.
It's just unfair what the Dodgers are doing. You win the World Series, then you add Edwin Diaz, you add Kyle Tucker.
It's so crazy, man.
It's insane. And they wonder why there might be a work stoppage in 2027. We got contracts being deferred. Tucker's getting paid $400 million, but only like 2 of it counts towards the payroll this year. Same with Ohtani, getting paid like $600 million, but only like $1.5 million of it's counting towards the payroll this year. Just insane stuff. But yeah, both of the Dodgers defeating the AL team. I like the Tigers. I think what they did last year really showed that they're kind of growing. You always see that team that makes that next step leap, and they make it to the playoffs. Then they get that little bit of experience. They were inexperienced last year. Now they add guys. They add Framber Valdez. I thought that signing was awesome by Detroit. He fits in that perfectly. The pitching kind of lacked them last year. They now signed Framber Valdez, and surprisingly shocking that they signed Kenley Jansen. They're looking for that nice veteran presence at the end of the back of the bullpen. But yeah, I think it's ultimately the Dodgers over the Tigers. And no surprise, you picked your Boston Red Sox.
And the reason I'm picking the Red Sox is I truly believe that they have a top 3 pitching rotation. And I'm not saying 1 through 5. I'm saying like 1 through like 9. And that's kind of like these are the 2 deepest pitching rotations in baseball. Like the Dodgers can throw out 10 different pitchers, and I think the Red Sox could legitimately throw out 7 to 8. And the one thing that really concerns me, and this is going to just be my Red Sox minute, the 20 home run mark. I don't know who can hit it for the Red Sox. And
we talked about that when Bob was on.
It's just everyone's talking about it now too, but like it's Abreu maybe. Everything just needs to go right for this offense to click. But I think the defense and the pitching is going to be so good that they're just going to win ball games. And the Dodgers are going to beat them in the World Series.
Yeah.
But still.
But like you said, you never know, man. The Blue Jays made the World Series as an almost beat. Took them to Game 7 as a wild card team. Or did they win the division last year? I can't remember. It was one of the two. They were neck and neck at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah. And no one thought the Toronto was going to do anything, and they took Dodgers. So you never know. Baseball's crazy like that. But yeah, if I'm a betting man, it's the Dodgers over the AL team, whichever that may be.
For sure.
All right, well, that wraps up our season preview prediction episode. We'll be back next week, and we actually have meaningful baseball to talk about, meaningful stats, and we will be discussing that even more actually next week. It's going to be awesome.
I can't wait, Jason. Enjoy your opening day.
Yes.